Hi guys, welcome to Uganda. My name is Joanita and I am your host for today. I do hope you're safe wherever you are and staying sane. Let's get to the news. Unfortunately, the world is going through a lot. It's like Mother Nature decided to punish everyone by sending a pandemic and put everything to a standstill. She basically said, pause, stop whatever it is you're doing, rest and understand what is happening around you. Now, recently in China, a Ugandan couple was sent away from a hospital when they were trying to access the hospital to get a pregnancy scan. This couple came prepared. They came with a camera to record everything because, as you all know, after the pandemic hit China, they recovered from it. But after that, a lot of mistreatment was happening to Africans. They were being sent out of their hotels. They were being denied food. They were being denied access to malls, and they were also denied access to healthcare. Basically, they were being treated as dogs. So this Ugandan couple went to that hospital ready and hopeful that maybe they could let them in, but still the gentleman had his camera out, ready to record whatever was going to take place. Now, on reaching there at the reception, the lady was talking to them in Mandarin and gestures. You know, most of you, when you go to a foreign country and you do not know the language, they try their best to explain to you in gestures maybe that are common everywhere. Now, this lady was telling them, no, we can't allow you here. You need to go back wherever it is you're coming from. And she tried to speak to them in Mandarin, but the couple had only been there for 3 years, so they do not understand the language, obviously, but they can use English, which some Chinese can use, but this lady decided not to use that language. She told them to go back, but this gentleman had a 4-minute clip of the lady sending them away, telling them they could not access this particular hospital. Now, a few moments later, this man uploaded this video onto the media. He uploaded the video on all his social media pages, and so many media outlets got wind of the story and also started publishing the story. They started talking about the story. They were shedding a light on the mistreatment Africans go through in China. Now, once the Chinese government got wind of this, it tracked them down and told them, you know what, you need to take the video down. But the gentleman explained to them, how do you expect me to take down a video when it's already out there? You know, with social media, there's a saying that says, once it's on the internet forever. So he was asking them, how can I take it down? People are sharing the video. It's on all social media platforms. Even if I delete the video on my platform, it's going to be elsewhere. Now, this is why the Chinese government gets fishy and shady. It decided to offer them the same services. They wanted a pregnancy scan. So the Chinese government officials told them, you know what? Come to this other public hospital and get the scan that you want. And on top of the scan, we're also going to take you for shopping. But as you all know, nothing free comes out of the Chinese. You can't get something for free. They had a condition. And that particular condition was, you are going to retract your statements and tell the people that the other video you made at first was just a hoax, it was a lie, and you were not denied access, and tell people how the Chinese government has been treating you. Now, this particular young man was wise to again record everything. So there's a certain clip where you can hear the Chinese government official telling them, yeah, tell us something nice about what the hospital has done for you. Tell the people how the Chinese people are good to you. Now, this man, obviously, you know, when someone does something nice for you, you want to be appreciative, and they helped his pregnant wife. So he did make the video. It's a short clip. He's saying, oh, thank you. They've treated us well. So now they've treated us well, and, you know, this is what we've gotten out of the Chinese government. Now, when they went to the mall, the Chinese government officials had promised them shopping. But on getting to the mall, the officials disappeared. They just had one camera guy recording them entering the mall, and then he stopped. It's like he was basically saying, yes, we have a video of them entering the mall, buying things, but they did not pay for anything. Again, this young man was wise enough to pay for these things using his card, and he got a receipt as proof and evidence that the Chinese government did not actually pay for the groceries, that he paid for the groceries. This particular clip highlighted the big problem in China, and that is the mistreatment of Africans, the mistreatment of people of color, Though Chinese are also people of color elsewhere, but these people of color treat black people or black-skinned, brown-skinned people differently. Now, we've seen these things happening all over. They do not allow them to access particular hotels. They do not allow them to access restaurants. They do not allow them to access malls. They leave them out on the streets to sleep on the streets, to fend for themselves. They do not know how they're going to get food. And all this is done by the Chinese government. It's like after COVID happened, they had a certain bandana to get every African out of that country. I mean, it makes no sense. No one goes out there and applies to be black. I do believe that all life matters. The color of your skin does not determine how you are to be treated. But unfortunately in China, the color of your skin determines how you are treated. Now, with all these bad things happening in the world, it's like the world is coming to an end or something. Why can't these Chinese government officials or the Chinese themselves be kind to everyone? Because at the end of the day, they are the ground zero of everything. So why not spread kindness to everyone? Why not be kind, show, be an example, and show, you know what? We treat everyone the same. Now, the other issue that does stand out for me is the Chinese government actually tracking them down. In the clip, you can also see the couple also that they were saying, how did they manage to track us down? That means they have like maybe a certain chip. Are they monitoring people on their computers? How did they get access to these people so easily? Now, this also goes to show how the Chinese are frauds. Like, how do you go to someone and be like, hey, the video you first made, you know what? Delete that, get it off the internet. We're going to give you this. It's like a bribe, yeah? We're going to give you this so that, you know, we can smoothen the blow of whatever it is that happened to you. And that's not it. You can't do something bad to someone, offer them a sweet, and then think that the bad thing that you did just goes away. Everyone should be accountable for the things that they do. And I think the Chinese government should be held accountable for the way they treat other people. Now, listen to this. How can you look at a pregnant woman and stop her from accessing certain facilities or stop her from accessing certain activities that she needs to do so that she can bring life onto this earth? There's nothing more special than a woman, because the fact that a woman can be able to reproduce and bring life, you know, from God recreated life. You have a woman who can also bring life onto this earth. So that's just a special creature on its own. So why would these people try to hurt a pregnant woman, treat a pregnant woman that way? Because who knows, what if she lost a baby? What if she was distressed and emotionally unstable and she lost a baby because they were treating her like this? Can you imagine? Like, all pregnant women should be treated with the utmost respect for the things they go through and the things that they're bringing onto this world. Now, moving on to our next story. Do you know that saying that says, wonders shall never end? Well, yes, wonders shall never end. In my country, that is Uganda, a mother was arrested for selling her child into prostitution. Let me explain. So there's this story, that there's a clip of this young girl. She was being recorded. I do not know by who, but she was crying out to the people. She was telling them, my mother gives me out to the landlord. My mother gives me out to the man who sells food down there. My mother also gives me out. By giving me out, I do mean she was saying that her mother gives sexual favors to her friends. She uses the daughter to give sexual favors, basically. It's like selling her into prostitution. And she was crying about how she doesn't want it, about how she is basically raped, if you can call it that. How it hurts her so much, and she is just 14. Now, on top of everything, this little girl also got pregnant. Sadly, she got pregnant, and when the mother found out she got pregnant, she forced her to have an abortion. She was telling people she didn't even know who the father was of the child, because her mother has been throwing her around to different men to sleep with, so that, you know, maybe she can get a favor from them, maybe she can get money from them. Who knows? Who can tell what was happening? First things first, let's talk about this mother. How evil, how stupid, how desperate can you be that you want to give your teenage daughter out to your male friends? I mean, was this child a result of rape? Maybe we can say hate comes from there. How much hatred does this mother have for her child? She's like, you know what? Go out there, you need to make us some money, and make us money in that way. I mean, most people want to be parents, but they do not understand the emotions that you have to go through to become a parent. You do not just become a parent because you can reproduce. You actually have to be emotionally stable for you to know this is another human being you're bringing onto the world. You have to love this human being unconditionally. You have to protect this human being, and you have to do your best so that that human being can be a better human being to also give birth to another human being. I mean, this lady does not deserve the right to even be called a mother. She's just a woman out there who is evil, who is malicious, who is everything bad that you can think of. I mean, she sat there one day, she's like, oh, I need to make money. And oh, I'm seeing my teenage daughter out there. You see, puberty has hit her. Maybe some features are coming out. She would be good for men out there. It makes no sense. Can we think about this beautiful child? Can you take a minute to think about this child? What she has to go through. I mean, at 14, no child should be exposed to sex. No child should even be able to watch anything sexual. Not on TV, not on their phones. So you can imagine the trauma this little girl has to go through to sleep with these older men, or because her mother is telling her, oh, you have to do it, or you'll have nowhere to sleep, or you'll have to do it, or I'm going to punish you, or something like that. Can you imagine what this has done to her body? Can you imagine what this has done to her brain? She's going to grow up hating all men, thinking all men are trash. Will she even be able to have a family of her own? Will she be able to give birth and love the child because of all these things the mother has put her through? I mean, can she even confirm what love is? Because if your mother doesn't love you, most times, if your mother doesn't love you, then you keep asking yourself, who is going to love me if not my mother? So you can imagine all the questions that must be going through her head. When she was recording this clip, when they were recording her clip, she was crying. You could see the pain in her eyes. You could see that she was tired. She was on the verge of losing her life. Like, this was enough for her. She told people, you need to get me out of that house. You need to help me and take me somewhere else. So you can imagine any teenager out there feeling like that. First of all, most teenagers cannot even describe one emotion. So why would this, you can think about how this girl is going through all these emotions, emotion after emotion, the pain she must be feeling, the trauma she's going through. I don't think she even associates with her friends. I mean, how is she going to play with them when her mother is selling her off and making her look like an old girl? And on top of everything, she's forced to abort. Do you know the pain of losing a child? The pain of losing a child is the biggest pain out there. So I cannot imagine. She's being forced to sleep with these old men. She was forced to also abort. All I can pray is that this child, sees the light or something, and someone out there does help her, because everything she's gone through, I don't wish that on my worst enemy or anyone, because that is just horrible. Another thing that does stand out to me are these old men, these old stupid men. You can clearly see that a girl is young, and you still go ahead and put yourself on top of her. You still go ahead and force yourself on top of this little girl. Who does that? Who in their right mind thinks like that? And most of these men who do such things also have teenage daughters, and they do not stand for a second and think, you know what? Maybe there's something I'm doing to this girl can be done to my daughter. No. Most times when these old men are doing, most times when men are doing something stupid, they do not think it can ever happen to them. You see? And a man can do something wrong and he's like, oh, no, it could never happen to my family. Forgetting karma does exist. What you do to others will surely come back to you. It may miss you, but it will land on your next generation. So it makes no sense. How are you that old and can't make a sound judgment? How are you putting yourself on a young girl and paying for it to end it all? And then afterwards, you stand up and walk around and think you're something to society, you're important to society. Think about that. Well, it's not all bad news, because once some celebrity did see this video, they reached out to the child, and Child Protection Services also reached out and they took her away from that home. We had celebrities donating money so that the child can, be comfortable wherever she's taken to next. And I hope in my heart of hearts that she is fine wherever she is. And to you out there, I want you to know that the girl child is so important. You must do what you can to make sure you protect the girl child. Actually, protect all children, but in this situation, it's the girl child. So do everything that you can to protect the girl child, because the future is female. So yeah, do that. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you so much for clicking on this video, taking the time to watch with me up to this end. I appreciate the support so much. Now, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Kenganda is a web of everything. We have entertainment, we have real estate, we have meat cover rates, we have hijab rates, we have food reviews, we have apartment reviews, we have everything. It's like a TV station. And I know that you're bored, so just go to Kenganda and binge watch all our videos. Yeah, make sure you give this video a like, give it a thumbs up and everything. Do follow us on our social media pages. We love you. I'm your host, Janita. Till next time.